So Lake Cam is ready. So this is the July 1st meeting of the Board of Selectmen. It is 3:02. Lake Cam is taping. We have nobody else taping the meeting. Our vast studio audience watching at home, including Lorraine sitting in the front row. That being said, our first item was to meet with the Park Commissioner, Michael Nolan, to discuss the bid for the Telly Williams Camp Athletic Fields number 1 and 2, but alas, he is unable to attend the meeting. So we are having an update from Lorraine and Leah, who met with Mike. I don't know who's actually speaking on it.
Actually, I met with the Parks Department, and I have this map, which kind of helps us a little bit. But Mike gave me his whole folder, so if there's a question that I don't know, I can probably try to ask. So this is field 1, that's field 2. All the irrigation and everything is, most of it's included in the price for 1, so the rough for field 2. So when field 2 comes around, all they'll just have to do is hook up to right there where all the irrigation stuff is. And at this point, they're gonna wait until the end of August, beginning of September to plant, so that way they're not fighting the heat for the grass. I don't know if you guys have any specific questions, but I have his whole to-do list here that, you know, they're underway. The fields are laid out and graded, electrical services installed from the pole to the well pump area. 200 yards of screen loom was received from the police station project, so they're right now in phase 2 where the trees were cut for Middleborough Gas and Electric. The electricity has come in from right here to get to there. So another little map. I have all the other quote stuff here. Tracy has the other, the second bid ready to go. When she gets back from vacation, the hope is that we can get everything all together and then all the planting and everything can get done at one time, so hopefully very efficiently. As part of step 2, it's installing the irrigation system, installing the well pump, stones for the parking area, and then phase 3, which we're a little behind schedule because they had anticipated this for the spring, but now it's going to be put off until the fall. The hydro seeding will be done, test and begin watering, complete the parking areas, clear the banks of debris and anything else they find, and then work with the leagues to lay the fields out. So this is their pretty whatever timeline. You guys have any other questions? Justin Bradley was going to try to make it, but he couldn't make it for 3 o'clock either. So, you know, and Mike felt really badly, but I told him it's not really a, you know, a big deal.
I think it's a great idea. My only question is the guaranteed grass. Is there guarantees that is, if you plant it, what if it doesn't come up for any reason?
Yeah,
I can
mean,
have a thunderstorm.
Right. I can ask him that question. I don't really know. I mean, I would think that.
I'm okay with the contract, but I didn't see
Yeah.
any guarantees.
Yeah, I didn't see a guarantee in there. I don't know if we do that or not. I
So
mean,
that being said, why don't we just, I'll make a motion to approve the contract and the bid, so we can have a second for discussion.
I'll second that.
Okay, so that way we can have any discussion. If you're
Yeah.
already ready to go with it, again, I have no problem, this is under their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I think the question was really just trying to make sure that they had gone through this process, because we had no information whatsoever from them previously, you know, just so that we knew exactly what they were doing and how they were having it awarded. I have no problem with this, so
Yeah.
unless anyone has any other questions on it, I'm happy to just bring it to a vote.
yep,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 2. This is a review and vote to approve the warrant for the special election, September 10th, 2019. So this is the town clerk asking us on this date, which we had previously talked about, which this will be the special election for the debt exclusion for Route 79 and the additional roads for $4 million, which will not be a dollar figure on the actual warrant itself, but we have the warrant. That being said, do we need to read the warrant into this? I think we can probably waive it, but we should probably read it.
For the TV audience.
For the TV audience, the vast audience at home. Okay, this reads, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Town of Lakeville. To any of the constables of the Town of Lakeville, greeting. In the name of the Commonwealth, you are hereby required to notify and warn the inhabitants of said town who are qualified to vote in the elections to meet in Precinct 1, Precinct 2, and Precinct 3, Ted Williams Camp, Loon Pond Lodge, 28 Precinct Street, Lakeville, Massachusetts. On Tuesday, September 10th, 2019, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., there and then and there, to act on the following. Shall the town of Lakeville be allowed to exempt from the provisions of Proposition 2 1/2, so-called, the amounts required to pay for the bond issued in order to fund the construction, maintenance, improvement, repair, replacement, and/or relocation of rights-of-way, sidewalks, drainage, utilities, driveways, retaining walls, guardrails, slopes, grading, rounding, construction, landscaping, and other appurtenances and/or facilities to enable the town to undertake the Route 79 Myrick Street, Rhode Island Road Rehabilitation Project and any and all costs incidental or related thereto, and to reconstruct, resurface, and repair town roads, including the payment of all costs incidental or related thereto. Question yes or question no. You are directed to serve this warrant by posting an attested copy hereof 7 days at least before September 10th, 2019 at the following places: the Town Office Building, Baldy's Pizzeria, Cisco's Pizza, the Clark Shores Association Bulletin Board, the Aponequet Regional High School, the Senior Center, and Assawampset School. Hereof fail not, and make return of this warrant with your doings thereon at the time and place of said voting given under our hands this first day of July 2019. Will be attested by a constable and posted in the appropriate places. Do I have a motion to accept said warrant?
So moved.
And a second?
Second that.
Any discussion?
Yes.
All right.
If you read the second sentence, the amounts required to pay for the bond issued, I thought we were going to mention that this was an affirmation or approval of what was approved at town meeting, however I word that, because people are going to say, how much is it, which we said we can't do, but somewhere we were going to mention that this is forwarding the town meeting vote. So I'm all set with it,
I can speak to
but
it.
we didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
The town clerk is going to have what motions passed at town meeting. You know, the bulletin boards, when you first walk in, to show the different
I get
precincts.
that, I get that.
You can't put anything on,
I know you can't put
But
amounts, but
it-
I thought we were going to reference the town meeting approval.
she will have the town meeting approvals out in the lobby.
I
So if anyone
get it.
questions it.
My
That's the only
question, I
place
thought we were
can-
going to put it in the motion. I'm all set with it.
Yeah,
You
I
can't.
think that what we did, because we sent this to legal counsel too,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they had
yeah.
previously approved it,
Yeah.
but,
I thought
Yeah.
they said that we shouldn't really put it in there.
all right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Agenda item number 3 is a review and vote on the GATRA contract. So we have their annual contract with selectmen's approval, which is attached. Kelly Howley has reported that, as far as she knows, there are no changes from the previous year. I assume that means she reviewed it, went through it, no material changes. If renewed, the contract would expire June 30th, 2020. This talks about the budget amount is level funded to the current year, so we could have a change in the amount on this contract during the year, so that is something that we had put into the budget, an amount for the GATRA contract regardless, so if this does come back to us, we'll have to deal with that. That being said, I will make motion to approve the GATRA contract with an expiration date of June 30th, 2020.
Second that?
Any discussion?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 4. So review and a vote on carryover vacation days. So Norman Taylor was unable to use all his vacation time in fiscal year 19. He was going to use a couple days during the end of the week. Staffing levels, blah, blah, blah. According to our union contract, he can carry over more than 5 days, but he needs approval from the Board of Selectmen and the department heads. So he is requesting a carryover of 3 unused days to fiscal year 2020. I'll make a motion that we approve such request.
Second that?
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 5, this is a discuss and a vote to appoint Paula Burdick as the Assistant Treasurer Collector. We have a request from Deborah Kenny, our Treasurer Collector, to appoint Paula Burdick, the Assistant Treasurer Collector, effective July 8th, 2019. Her bonds are in place effective July 8th, 2019. We also have a letter of employment, state statutes regarding the appointments of Assistant Treasurers and Assistant Collectors. So I'll make a motion to appoint Paula Burdick as the Assistant Treasurer Collector, effective July 8th, 2019.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Yes.
All right.
Not regarding her appointment necessarily, but if Deborah Kinney's going to retire and we know what that date is, are we going to have an election? She do a letter of retirement at some point in time in the future? Or,
I don't know
Is-
that she's retiring before her 3-year term is,
oh,
but
okay,
if she
okay,
did,
that's fine.
what you could
That's fine.
do.
What I don't
Yeah.
want to do is is be left in the lurch, she has to notify us, what, 90 days ahead or something, or she doesn't have a contract?
She doesn't have a contract,
Yeah,
so.
that's fine, okay.
What you do is if she retires midterm, and say, for instance, if Paula has been trained enough,
I don't wanna-
you could appoint her.
I don't want to do that. I want to have an election. That's all.
Well, it depends. If she
Well-
retires, say, in March,
But it's
you
out in
appoint
the,
a temporary.
it's out in the future, but I want to have an election.
Yeah, well,
That-
the
It's an
other
elected
thing-
position.
I mean, the
Okay.
other thing that we could
That's
do
a
too
different-
is, I think, and this happened before, when Debbie was out on her, medical leave, that,
Yeah.
that was a point where you could be authorized, so
Yeah.
Maureen could be authorized to
Yeah.
sign whatever
Yeah,
it needs
okay.
to be signed, so that she could step in the shoes of just
Yeah.
the signature
Okay.
piece while the
Yeah.
office runs with the staff that it has during that time.
Yep.
So there's no rush or need to.
No,
Yeah,
but
put
if we knew
somebody
the
in that
date,
place.
I thought,
Yep.
Rita, you had indicated that she's retiring in a year or something.
I don't.
Okay, fine.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Agenda item number 6, review and vote on the third amendment to the Middleborough Lakeville Intermunicipal Water Agreement for 16 Bridge Street. So we had previously approved a water connection to 16 Bridge Street to the municipal water with Middleborough. So in order to really allow them a connection, we have to amend the IMA. We have an amendment which just is the same in form other than adding a new address in Lakeville. So I will make a motion that we vote on the third amendment to the Middleborough Lakeville Intermunicipal Water Agreement at 16 Bridge Street.
Second that.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda item number 7, a request for the road opening permit, 40 Taunton Street, Columbia Gas. So we have a letter from our superintendent of streets. They're requesting a road opening permit to install a new gas service. They have a trench permit that they have applied, and Franklin is going through the regular process. So I will just make a motion to approve the road opening for 40 Taunton Street, Columbia Gas.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Just a note that Tracy's on vacation. She didn't put the permit in the sign folder, so we'll have to type it up tomorrow, and if the two of the selectmen could stop by. Paul is in a rush for it.
Okay.
Can we just designate Maureen to sign it?
I'd be happy to. We
Yeah.
can do that.
So
Is that something we
We've
can't
never
do?
done it, but
Well, let's
it's not
do
to
it.
say we can't.
let's do it.
I'm
then.
amending my
We don't have to go.
motion. You
I'll be
seconding
there.
my amendment of
I'll
the motion?
second your amendment.
We're voting on the amending of the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Now we're voting on the amended motion.
Which is to have.
Have Maureen sign it.
Maureen sign
Maureen
it
All those
as
in
a town
favor?
administrator. Yep.
Aye.
Aye. Great, that was fun. Okay, agenda item number 8. This is to discuss scheduling the August and September selectmen's meetings. So we have August 12th and 26th.
And we weren't sure if you were going...
To show up?
No, change the dates again and stay with 3 o'clock. It's September, I think.
I'm good with 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock's okay?
12,
And we'll make them
26.
at the new police station.
September 9th might be tough, I'm not sure yet.
I can't do 3 o'clock come September.
So what can you do?
Probably the earliest would be 5.
How about
Not
early
if I
in the
do it at
morning?
3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Early in the morning, better? Or no?
No, worse.
Is that just Mondays, the problem?
Well, I have other commitments, but in the summertime it's quiet, so I can do the 3 o'clock. But,
Well,
it depends on what's going on that day, so if I get called in and I have to, whatever. Plus I take my dad to the doctor, so it's usually morning appointments, so like if we could pick a day from now, I don't even know if something would come up, so,
So let's just book August right now, 12th and 26th. We'll revisit it later,
yeah. I mean, through August, I can still do the 3 o'clock, so.
because we're gonna have a scheduling problem come the fall then, between all 3 of us probably. So we'll have to
So
figure
we'll
that out.
revisit it at the end of July.
Yeah, we can revisit the end of July, that's fine.
Okay.
So what do we have?
So the 12th and the 26th of August will be at 3 o'clock.
3 PM, police station.
The new
Whichever
one.
one is open.
Yeah, hopefully the new one.
Okay.
right, so, agenda item number 9. It's a review and vote to approve the selectmen meeting minutes of June 10th, 2019. I have no comments or changes on said minutes, so I will make a motion to approve the minutes of June 10th, 2019.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, new business. We have some new business.
I do. Kay Doyle called on Thursday to let us know that Nature's Remedy was issued their cultivation license.
Cultivation and manufacturing license.
Product manufacturing.
Yeah.
She did say, too, that we'll be seeing something coming down the pike on social consumption cafes, which we don't care
Yeah.
about, and about...
That's an opt-in.
Yeah.
As a municipality.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you have to
they're
actually
messing
go to the
around,
ballot
they're
and
messing
vote
around with
it
that
in.
stuff.
But they
Get them
have-
approving permits.
They have a lot of communities that are waiting for this, and the delivery-only authorization, we'll be seeing something about that. I'm sure you
Yep.
stay
Yeah,
on
those
top
two
of that.
actually are, they're looking to just issue those licenses to social equity empowerment applicants so that there'll be a kind of protected class of those two license types, so, cool. So that's it for new?
For new.
Actually, so this is, I don't know if this is new or old, so whatever you guys want to do, but the road race stuff, I do know that the Doyles would like to speak to the board, but they can't make a 3 o'clock meeting, so I suggested that they give each of you a call.
They shouldn't be doing that. They should talk to Maureen probably because
Well, I
otherwise
think
it's
they want the
polling.
selectmen to hear what they have to say, so.
Well, we
and-
can work with them on a time.
Yeah, and then also with the Parks Department, I mean, before, I have no idea what we're gonna do, talk about what the intention is, but we need to keep in mind that at least one of those races is one of the biggest fundraisers they do, so I think we should really just
Are we
schedule-
talking, aren't we talking about the Patriot half versus the Sun
Well,
Multi?
it's the same company.
Right, but those are two different races that go on two different routes. And the issue that I was made aware of was that it was an issue with the Patriot half,
Yeah.
which is not the same as what the issue is with what happens here with the Cranberry Tri-Fest.
Right, but it's the same company, so if we say, we don't want you to do this one anymore, we don't want to lose the one that is the biggest fundraiser.
I mean, they can. if
So
they
my
want-
point is just that, you know, we should try to somehow coordinate, even if we, you know, make it, because they work in the afternoon too, the Doyles do. And I know they want to be heard, and I think that's their right to be heard. So if we have, you know, time, maybe we could book them for a little bit later than the 3 o'clock.
They book something with the Parks Department, and then they can invite us. I mean, that's really what, ultimately, it goes through the Parks Department. It has nothing to do with us. The only thing we do with it is we approve the
Right.
route, and we say there's no issue because we run it through the police and the fire, and we take a donation from them, I think.
Right, but I thought we
Please.
wanted to hear too from the police department on it. That's why I don't know that that would be the right place with the Parks Department. So anyway, so my point is, if we could somehow figure this out. However, I mean, I really feel like they should have the right to speak to the Board of Selectmen, not their fault, they work and they can't be here at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so they can contact Maureen and then send a letter and have that conversation, and she can work with me to see if we can make this work for the board.
Okay, I mean, they already did come last time, so, you know, I feel like now we're making people work hard to, you know, they've already come to a meeting, so I don't want to see them have to work any harder, you know, because then we say no
Well,
one comes, but
I
right
know
now,
that-
they've been here, we didn't let them speak, even under new business, so we shouldn't have to, they shouldn't have to work harder to try to get our attention either, so.
Well, Lieutenant Sean Joyce does want to talk to the board about the race. As we know, that the Gym Hut had their open house, so their
Yeah.
recital at the same time. But I don't think the Parks I don't think had anything to do with that race. They only have it with the police
Right.
one.
Well, and that's the
Right.
thing that I don't know why
But it's the
with the
same, I
parks.
believe it's the same company, at least that's
Right.
what I was told.
Well, I don't want to
So-
like
Yeah.
spend any other time with this until you guys
Well,
understand.
I do though,
what-
Bitsy, because this is something important.
No.
We had people come to a meeting, we didn't really give them the opportunity to speak because we said that we were gonna be discussing it, either at the next meeting or the meeting after. They work at 3 o'clock, so, we really need to
Right,
accommodate.
So what that needs to happen is it needs to go through here, so we know what's happening at town hall, so they're handling it, and they come to us, and we only make policy decisions. So whatever comes to you guys, you can work with Leon, the contact, or whatever it is, so that we can make sure that it gets onto the agenda. I'm not saying I'm not ignoring them, but the chain of command needs to go through town administrator, and then we'll have that conversation as to how to get it on the board. Because I just don't want to sit here and micromanage
Okay,
something
right,
that's
and-
not
and
our
I mean,
jurisdiction, which our
right.
jurisdiction is just policy, it's
Yep.
their day-to-day.
Yep,
So-
and, another reason why, 3 o'clock meetings may be okay in the summer, but for when people do have to come, that could present a problem, like Mike Nolan, he just couldn't get here today. I mean, whatever, so,
Duly noted, we had that conversation, we'll continue to have the conversation as everything comes up. And we said that we would have additional meetings to accommodate when we needed to.
Right.
So just with all of that, everything should be going through the administration office, because hearing it at a meeting for the first
I mean,
time is a reactionary type situation, and I'm done with this conversation, so.
well,
that
you know
being
what,
said-
you're done, Mitzi, but we're not voting to be done. If you want to have a vote to be done, I'm bringing this up as new business, okay? You're the chair, but this is coming up under new business, so you can't just decide to be done because you feel like it. You're basically telling people, it's too bad you came last time and we didn't let you speak. So, no, don't just say it's done. I want to know what we're going to do.
That's why we're sending
No, I
it to the
want the
administration.
town administrator's office
John,
to
would you like
reach out to
adjourn the
them.
meeting?
Listen,
No,
This is
listen,
ridiculous.
listen, the
Why
door-
are we
wait a minute.
why are we adjourning the meeting? Just because you don't want to talk about it?
Listen,
Oh, come on,
listen,
Mitzi.
listen, the Doyles talked to me. It's a simple thing. We shouldn't allow that particular race during the open house weekend. That's all. So they've already told me their story, and we shouldn't allow that.
Okay,
In
but
my mind,
Mitzi
we
said
shouldn't
that
allow
was
the race.
inappropriate for them to talk to you, so, I mean.
No.
We did it.
Well, you just
Private-
said that.
private
You said
citizens-
that's not the
private-
channel to go through.
They've
I
already-
recommended
Listen,
they
they
call
already
you.
they already talked to me.
Okay, but I recommended they call you and talk to you individually,
already
and the
talked-
chair
they
just
already
said that
talked-
that's not the
Listen,
appropriate way to do
Listen,
things.
they already talked to me
Okay.
a month ago.
Okay, so then why is the chair telling us that's an inappropriate channel?
She,
Well, ask her.
she runs the meeting. I don't give a crap.
And, well, I
So
do.
move on.
I do, because the
Move
next
on.
time someone
We'll
wants
move
to
on.
ask a question, are they supposed to call a selectman or not?
Well, have them then direct it to administration. All I'm saying is, it goes through administration, because if they start polling, that's actually inappropriate. That's why everything goes through the administrator, because they will determine and they will disseminate the information. That's just how it has to go, because if somebody starts calling each one of us, they're polling the board, and it's actually an illegal meeting. That's why it has to go through the administration.
They're not polling the board, they're just saying how they feel. That's why we should have just let them speak when they were here 2 weeks ago.
All right. Next time. Next time.
But we don't like it when people talk to us, so whatever.
Perfect. So, the next thing, we have old business, which is the update on the new police station, the update on Route 79.
So I did attach where we are on the change orders. Everything seems to be in line. They did the parking lot this weekend. I just went by.
Perfect.
It's been line painted, and they're looking to move in the middle to the end of July.
Okay.
I think the 911 changeover is mid-July, talking to Matt Friday. So we're on course for completion.
And so our total contingency now,
It's way down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that does not show the latest change order of $11,412, I
So-
think.
of the project contingencies being used, then this also includes then let's see.
All of the upgrades that.
Right, so it's all the upgrades. So the total cost, I guess, is where we're trying to get to. So we have balance to complete. So the computer upgrades, which are on there, this is weird. So this report, if I were to look at what's been dispersed and the balance to complete. So what we have on here, some of these changes so they just moved it from the contingency line item to, I'm just trying to get to what the total dollar value is, right?
Right,
Because
right.
I don't think this is really following itself the way it needs to. Because if I have a contingency change,
386, is that where we are, the project contingency, 386,119?
yeah, because I
Is that where you are?
think, because it's kind of been like pushed the other side, but then the balance to complete being 1.7, but we've dispersed 7. I mean, is this essentially coming down to 8.4 million? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Because the 1.7 that's still left, we do have 2 more payments to the general contractor. One's getting processed today. So
For like
his
100
payments are
something.
usually around $500,000.
Okay.
Now that we're on the downside, it won't be as much, but we've still got 2 more months of payments to come out of that 1.7.
Okay, so is it possible for us to get, so we added some things to the police station budget, but not out of contingency. We added it out of different funding sources, which happen to be like the reserve fund transfer, some of the technology upgrades, the
Yes.
capital. So that's what I want to make
The
sure we
water,
get to,
you
right?
know,
The
the
water,
water,
so that we
right.
know what's actually the total cost that's being bonded and the funding sources for everything. That's the
Right,
piece that I'm more
right, because we already
concerned
paid
about.
the 800,000.
Right, yeah,
We
so that
paid
we
the
know.
water.
But that's included in this budget of 8.8.
Yeah,
The
but
one thing
we don't care because
Yeah,
we
we want to
already
see the
paid
funding
that.
sources of
We
it.
only want to know the funding.
Well, if you look
Total.
at this last page right here, what's interesting, the
What-
upgrades,
what
the
last
last page of the
This
change
yellow one,
orders.
page
If you look
51.
at the column that owner upgrades, you know, 346, 330, what's the architect did mention when the committee upgraded to things that we had taken out to go out to bid.
Yep.
He did not put his additional fees on it.
The architect?
Yeah, typically they get markups on it, and he did say he did not mark up anything. Whatever we upgraded was at the actual cost.
So this is, he's asking for an upgrade?
No,
Okay,
no.
that's what I thought.
He-
I thought
he
he had
just
said
wanted
that
to
he.
make sure.
Yeah, I thought that he had said in some of those meetings that he was not charging
Right,
more for those
and
upgrades.
he didn't.
So,
So that was, he just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that everybody knew that we didn't get any upgrade charges.
So if it's-
And I still have a question about that 124,000 for the water line. You know, they're subtracting it out.
Yeah.
Todd and I aren't quite sure why he's doing that.
yeah, if we can just get, so that we know how this is funded. So that we know if the total cost right now is expected to be 8.4, roughly, based upon what's left in the
Because you're taking the
contingency.
386, 119 off,
Right,
388.
and I guess though we'd have to add in the 124, so it's almost at like 8.6 or 8.5, right? So if that's really the case, then we have, what was funded from the water main, what was funded from, the police state, whatever we had for the
Right,
400,000 that we had before,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
not on.
400,000.
The one from the Tim Gray's.
Yeah.
Gray bars is not in here.
So
'Cause we
these
took it from
contingency,
other-
well, that's what I'm afraid
Okay.
that it is. I could be totally wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I see the 213 that we just authorized on the microwave, right?
Yep.
And then the communication equipment radios, I thought that came out of capital
No, that's that 159 that we voted with,
previously there.
with Ryan Maltese.
Well, then what's N? Isn't the radio upgrades?
Radio upgrade number 25, I think, is, but
Isn't-
I.
Oh, yeah,
I-
okay.
I
No,
don't
I'm
dis-
mi- I'm mixed
I don't
up, too.
disagree with you.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
we
know
did
what you're
take
trying
that
to
from
do.
you, right, Mitzi?
Yeah,
That
ju-
night, the contingency. we
Right,
did
so I
take
just
up.
want to make sure that we know
What we
Where-
have to pay out.
exactly. So we know what we need to ban potentially and what we're bonding. Because we have the amount of the bond. And then I just want to see what else added up to that so
Yeah.
that we know what's really there.
Todd and I seem to think it's going to be that 213. that latest one for the microwave.
Okay, but can we like just do that so that we see that, you know what I'm saying, right? So if we've already spent 400, and then we spent another 400, because we spent 800 that was authorized through the
Yeah.
first 2 town meetings. And then we have on top of that, we have the water line, which was like 100 and something thousand, I thought it was 173, but it's down here 124. Right, so we had that on there. So those 3 things, that's $1 million. So then, in theory, if this was at 8.5 or 8.6, then we'd be at 7.5 or 7.6, whereby 7.4 is being bonded and
Yes.
200 is coming through a ban. Just so that we know, like, where everything is from, because otherwise this just looks like,
Right. So just start, it's simple, just start out with the 8.8, less what we've all paid for, and where it came from.
yeah, and
Plus
not,
400 came from whatever, 400 came from
Yeah.
whatever, 124 came from the water. The capital, we approved that.
yep.
Yeah, and
So,
Todd's
less
Todd's
than.
balance sheet
No.
is much better than this.
Well,
Okay,
that's
so-
the one
Yeah.
we're probably interested in, but we
Right.
want to know what we have to,
Okay.
what is being bonded.
Yeah, exactly. Just where we finally ended up and how
Right.
we got there.
This would
Right.
be good for you. 185.
All right, and Pam Hasner called
Okay,
you?
yes, and I finally talked to her today. She was just wondering how we made out at town meeting. And I told her that everything was approved.
Not
And in the
the roundabout.
meantime, we got an update. Beta had to forward the changes that came from the site walk.
Yep,
A few changes. He has sent that off to Mass DOT. So they have 90 days to review the changes. And Maureen's actually printed off the design exception report.
Just came out today.
excellent.
And they probably won't take 90 days, but they're looking at probably a fall public hearing where all the residents will be invited.
Yep,
And once this is approved, Matt Shute is going to get us the price on the final contract, the final part of the project, of what Beta's cost is going to be.
okay. Because we were at 800 on Beta, right?
I think we paid a little over 400, right, John?
Well, I think, right, I think the only thing that had been approved was the 4 and change.
Right.
And we've been after them, where is the bill to get to 80 and 100% complete?
'Cause we-
And that's the one that's up in the air.
We've got a contract up to this point, and now we'll have to negotiate a new contract with Beta for the final part. And he's gonna get that.
That's after
Yeah,
75% design? So is that
Um,
75% design and going forward to public hearings and things like that? And what did our original contract with Beta cover? Because I thought it covered all of it. but
No.
Not through the construction
No.
period, but up to.
Right, it should have carried
right?
certain public meetings and things like that, that is, so even though you have changes, one public meeting's one public meeting. We can't beat around the bush with him, Rita. He's got to come up with
He
the
said within
money,
2 weeks.
the amount
Yeah,
of,
he
the
should-
billing.
Right.
You know, we've only technically approved about 400. We don't have a bill for anything beyond that, I don't think. And this is where, when we met with the state, they said it's not 10% of $10 million, just because you move some telephone poles in your CAD system, doesn't give you another $400,000.
Because the majority of the work is to just get to the 25% design.
Well, up
We-
front.
we need a
right?
bill.
Yeah, so maybe we can take a look
We
at
need
the
a bill and an
old
estimate.
contract too, just so that we know, or if
Yeah.
you guys, well, you guys can take a
Yeah.
look at it, just to see, because I thought that contract went through 75% design and the public hearings on it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it was just kind of everything up to the start of the construction. And I just want to make sure that they're not kind of either double dipping on that when they give us a new proposal, or that if that contract still holds as to what the cost was that covered all that.
And he just sent a
Right.
breakdown to Franklin of the cost so far, so
Okay.
I'll get that.
Okay. All right.
That's a big piece, big amount.
All right, so, I guess Anything else?
I would just like to say, congratulate Lorraine. She graduated from the Suffolk University and the MMA's certificate program in local government and leadership and management. It was a 25-week program. You ended up with an A in the class. It was fun.
Did you learn a lot?
You did?
What did you learn that you didn't already know?
Oh, I can't say mine.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
No. We went to the
Excellent.
graduation last Monday night up at Suffolk University, and House Speaker John DeLeo was the keynote speaker. It was a very nice time.
So thank you. I applaud you for supporting me through all that.
Congratulations.
And then I did have the band that comes due every July. It got delivered today, so it's not even on your agenda. We're down to just 3 items on $405,000 in 3 bands. The repaving of Ted Williams Park, the pumper truck, and the ambulance. So we're paying down the debt quickly.
Did we pay that?
But
No, we pay some every month.
we paid, which one?
I thought we paid for some of that last year with band. No?
We made a lot of payments.
I thought we prepaid some of these things. Did I miss that?
Maybe not those things.
I thought we did.
We did pay down a lot of debt.
I thought we paid off the pumper truck. Didn't we do that?
No, but that's only a couple years old.
Or was it the ambulance?
It was
No, I know, but wasn't that?
Something.
We paid off one
We paid
ambulance.
something.
Was that the
But-
other ambulance?
Yeah, we paid off one.
I don't recall right now. I know we paid down a significant amount of debt. But how long are you running those bands for?
We roll it over till next July.
Because I
It's
want to pay
1-year
them
ban.
off at the fall town meeting.
Yeah, can we just
So I don't wanna do a 1-year ban,
You want 6
perhaps a
months, yeah.
6-month ban. Perhaps.
Yeah, can we look, just double check what we paid
we
down
paid off.
at the
I don't-
fall,
Right,
not this past fall town meeting,
Right.
but I think it was the one before that.
Right.
It could have been the annual, but I thought it was the fall, and I thought we paid down one of these big things, because I thought when we were looking at our debt schedule for next year, I mean, and I know that those are included on them because the payments would only be, whatever it is, 110 or something on the
Right.
pumper and 50 on the ambulance,
Right,
and we're at like
right.
210 or something in
Right.
terms of what we're paying
Right.
next year in the debt
Right.
schedule.
Right.
And it's
And I
on
just-
those 3 things.
Yeah, so it must just be that, but if you
Yeah.
could just refresh our memories.
Right.
But I thought that
Right.
we had paid something
We
down, but
should-
maybe it
we-
was an old ambulance.
Right, we should look. Right.
Because I thought that was your big thing. I thought we paid that pumper down. I
No,
really
we
did.
didn't. No, that's the new one for $550,000. We're making
Well,
$110,000 payments every year.
which we just did that.
Yeah.
I can't sit here without the
Right, without the
capital book
Yeah.
to
Yep.
know, but I don't want to write the ban beyond, say, December 30th.
Well, it's all done. We've gone out to
Who
bid.
did it?
It's our
Spoken
annual
to
ban
Todd.
that comes down. That
No,
comes
the
due
ones you're
every
paying,
July.
but you've got new ones, right? New ban that you have to write. And you already rolled it over for a year?
This is it, right here. We roll it
Who did
over
it?
every
Did
July.
Todd?
The treasurer does it.
Good, I guess so much for talking to Todd.
Well, it's,
I thought he's the.
our current ban came due, so we have to pay
And we
that
should-
off.
we-
And
Right, and we should have rolled it over for 6 months.
I'm not
a
sure
year.
if you can pay it off for bonds. I know you can't pay off early if they're not callable.
Right, but the bands you
Yeah.
can, you can roll that over for 6 months.
So you know what we could do if worst case
But-
scenario is we
yeah.
could always throw that money in the fall town meeting on the
Put
debt
it-
service
put it in there
stabilization
anyways.
for the purpose of
For the
the
purpose
annual
of,
to
right.
pay it down.
Yeah, put it in the debt service stabilization
Yeah.
and pay it
Right.
off next July in full.
Shame on you. Todd said he was gonna do it 6 months. I thought he was the person.
No, he's not, he doesn't.
Well, should have gone and found out, forget it.
But anyways, I need you to vote to award the bid to TD Bank at the rate of 2.04%. The rates have gone down, and it will be due on July 10th, 2020.
All right, so moved.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Almost.
Aye.
All right, so, that's it?
And that's it.
All right,
for me.
so I will make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the police chief, and pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to threatened litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the board, and the chair so declares, and pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, to comply with the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 22F, approval of executive session minutes for June 17th, 2019, and not to return to open session.
Is that your motion?
That's my
I
motion.
second that.
Okay, Hollenbeck,
Aye.
Powderly,
Aye.
Fabian,
Aye.